Well, I just got back home from work, but I felt like doing this tag that I saw Sid do. I'll link her YouTube channel somewhere in the description. Hi, puppy. So this tag is 7 books for 7 days. I thought it was an interesting concept. So yeah, that's it. Let's get into this. I do have a hard time doing tags because, well, I'm kind of new. Well, not new. I stopped reading for many, many years. I'm getting back into it. I decided to do BookTube while I do it for anyone else who struggles with their reading life. But I do think these tags are really fun, and this one isn't too hard. Basically, you're pretending that you're going on vacation, and for every single day you pick a book, and every day has a certain prompt. For Monday, it's a book that feels like drinking coffee. Coffee makes me think of that meme where I've seen videos around where it's the coffee, it's black coffee, and they're like, we should murder someone. And then you put cream in it, and it's like, we should contemplate murdering someone. So I just think of sarcasm and just, I guess, like dark humor. That's mostly what I think of. And for some reason, I associate that type of mindset to All Systems Red by Martha Wells, which is the first book in the Murderbot Diaries. I don't know why, it just makes me think of it because the Murderbot, well, it's a murderbot and it doesn't like humans. It doesn't want to be around people. It just wants to sit there and watch its shows and not have to deal with anything else. And that makes me think of coffee drinkers a lot. Like, just, I don't want to deal with today. Coffee will help me. And I feel like Martha Wells' All Systems Red and probably the rest of her books, I've only read the first one, but Murderbot in general gives me coffee vibes. Day number 2, Tuesday, the prompt is name a book that was forgettable. Let me grab it. So a book that was really forgettable for me is a book that I read quite a while ago. It's The Library at Mount Char by Scott Hawkins. I picked this one up a few years back and I read it. I read the whole thing, but I honestly couldn't tell you what it's actually about. All I know is that there is a library at the top of, like, I remember it not really being a mountain and more like a driveway, I guess, or a street that goes into this, not abandoned, but, you know, not a lot of houses down that street, and there's just a library at the end. And there are these kids that are raised by this type of god, I guess, but he's very selfish, and I think he even beats them. Like, it just, this book was strange. That's all I can say. Like, it was very strange. I didn't know anything that was happening. There was weird magic, I guess, but I don't remember most of it. I didn't like it. Yeah, just a very forgettable book for me. I don't know. I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. All right, Wednesday, fast-paced books. So, pretty obvious. Vicious and Vengeful, fast-paced, and just can get through these really quickly. Suspense, action, hilariously pessimistic and sarcastic characters, gore, shitty things happening, timelines that jump, like in Vicious especially. I remember 2 days ago, then the next chapter 10 years ago, then just constant jumping around, constant action, always something happening. So yeah, Wednesday I would bring these books on vacation. Thursday, an underhyped book. Gregor the Overlander and the entire Underland Chronicles. Shush, computer. These were all written by Susan Collins, the same author who wrote The Hunger Games. They are epic, what is it again? Epic middle grade fantasy books, and they are amazing. Basically, a kid, I think he lives in New York, falls down one of those like vents, and that vent actually leads into very far underground, and very far underground there's an entire civilization He also falls down with his little sister called Boots, which is adorable. And when they get there, the civilization, they're like, oh my gosh, he is the prophecy. He's the child of prophecy, and so is his sister. In this underground world, there are giant rats, there are giant bats, there are giant lizards. These books were dark for middle grade, but they were so good. I remember just being immersed in these so much. I feel like more people need to read them. I don't care if you prefer adult fantasy. Try these, they're really good. Little lemonade break. Friday. A book with food on the cover. A book with food on the cover. I don't feel like I have a book with food on the cover. Let me look. I forgot that I bought this book. The Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. I haven't actually read this book yet, but it has food. It has peaches with vampire bites on them. I'm pretty sure what I've heard about this book is the title says it all. It's literally a book club of women. They're trying to... Well, they're learning how to slay vampires, but there is a vampire among them. They just don't know who it is. That's all I really know about it, but... I honestly, like, this cover just looks so pretty, and I think the book itself underneath, yeah, it's green. I love green. Saturday ended in a cliffhanger. Okay, so I don't think I've read a lot of books that end in, like, a huge cliffhanger. The 8 Perfect Murders by Peter Swanson, that one technically ended in a cliffhanger, where you don't know what happens to the main character. Like, it's one of those, they narrate what they're going to do, but you don't, it just ends, and you're like, but does he actually? And then also Big Lies in a Small Town by Diane Chamberlain, which I read that last month. That one also ended sort of in a cliffhanger. I don't think it was a huge one. I know that my book club, when we read it, they were pretty disappointed. They were like, does she actually, like, what happens after? I was like, I mean, it's just one of those open-ended endings. I didn't think it was much of a cliffhanger. They called it a cliffhanger. So, yeah, I guess both of those have cliffhangers. I wouldn't really take those books on vacation, though. 8 Perfect Murders was good, but I already read it, and it's one of those books that once you kind of find out, it's a murder mystery. Once you figure out the mystery, it's not really that much fun to read it again. But, yeah. The final day, because it's Sunday, it is a book that made you cry. All right, I've said this multiple times. This is the only book that has made me cry this year. And if you haven't seen my previous videos where I mention it, this book made me cry because it made me hormonal. This book is very much written as an angsty senior high school teenager with a lot of sexual frustration who wants to tell a story about love and betrayal, but also gore and fairies and angels and just a big fantasy world. So yeah, this book made me, I loved reading this book. I don't think it's an amazing book, but it did make me cry. I don't even remember exactly. Yes, I do remember why. It was for a friendship moment. The friendship moment in this book made me cry. For any of you who've already read it, the friendship moment around the end of the book made me cry. All right, and that's it for the tag, I believe. Yeah, 7 days, 7 books, taking on vacation. Yeah, feel free to do this tag yourself if you want to. I'll put the questions, the prompts, whatever, down below, and please check out Sid's video on this too, to see her answers, see how you feel about them. And if you want to do it too, go right ahead and do it. If you like this video, like, subscribe, comment, all that jazz, and I will see y'all next time. Bye!